We're live. Hey everyone, this is Kamal, Black Man Travels with an A. Wanted to take the time to just have a conversation with you guys and talk about something really important. Just wanted to provide my take, my observation, and my personal experience with something that we don't like to talk about as Black men, and that is how fragile a lot of our egos are. I understand that we live in a society in a country where we constantly have to prove ourselves. We constantly have to show our wealth. I mean, our wealth, but our worth to the masses and why we should be viewed as important. And we take being disrespected as a serious matter to the point where we're willing to risk everything that we've done, everything we accomplished, just to check that disrespect. As Black men, especially at this level, Black men with a passport, Black men with careers, with families, we should be moving in a certain manner. And that manner should be conducted in a certain way. And we can't allow anyone to ruin our what we built, what we're trying to accomplish. And sometimes it just takes a quick 60 seconds to ruin everything that we built because we allow our fragile ego to be taken advantage of. Let me invite Melvin in. Hey, Melvin, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Kano. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right, man. This is like an unplanned podcast. When I spoke to you this morning, I kind of felt like this is something that needed to be discussed as Black men. And as I started the podcast, is that this is my personal take, my observation, and I think that this is definitely need to be addressed and how fragile our egos are as Black men, that we allow the littlest things to ruin everything that we built.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and we have to be careful with that.
yeah,
Life. You're right; it's very fragile, and sometimes you have to let things go because you have a bigger mission with your life.
yes. Now, Melvin, I brought you on board because you're a man of a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. But before we start this conversation, because I know that you have 30 minutes, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to join this podcast and having this conversation with me. I want to show this one video by Buster Rhymes that I came across, and what he said was so profound that I had to check myself today. And I'm going to share my experience today, but I had to check myself because what Buster Rhymes said really applied everything that happened today. So I'm going to share my screen, guys. 1 second.
Everybody got 84,000 seconds in a day, right? When you let somebody take 60 seconds, would you risk 84,540 seconds of your day for 60 seconds? You killed that. You killed that, Take Bay. You killed that. Oh. That 160 seconds could destroy the rest of your 84,540 seconds because you being impulsive. Right. There's a bigger picture. Let that nigga have them 60 seconds and hold on to your 83,540 seconds because that 60 seconds ain't worth fucking up all of that.
I'll play it again, guys.
Everybody got 84,000 seconds in a day, right? When you let somebody take 60 seconds, would you risk 84,540 seconds of your day for 60 seconds?
You killed that. You killed that, Jake Bay. He killed that. Oh.
That 160 seconds could destroy the rest of your 84,540 seconds because you being impulsive.
Right.
There's a bigger picture. Let that nigga have them 60 seconds and hold on to your 83,540 seconds, because that 60 seconds ain't worth fucking up all of that.
I'm back. So Melvin, what do you think, man?
Yeah, he made a very good point. You can't let that that minute, what happened in that minute, ruin your whole day. You can't let it get to you and change your whole outlook, take away your positivity, no matter what it is. It might be being pulled over by a cop. It might be a message you got from your girlfriend or something, or or something the boss said to you that you didn't appreciate. So it's really important to let things go.
Yeah, and welcome, Pablo. I really appreciate you taking the time to join the podcast as well. I'm a huge fan of your work, Pablo. Another YouTuber that talks about real issues and real topic, but also as well encourage other Black men to get their passport and travel. So welcome aboard, Pablo. I guess you're on mute. Well, for me, it's just like the reason why I'm having this conversation is that this morning, I went to the gym and I got my workout in or whatever, everything else. Obviously, there's another guy. I'm a big guy. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 265, solid. Shit, most people think I'm a ball player and they see me, but I'm a nerd. And but at the same time, my background, I wrestle and I box. So even now to this day, I box 5 times a week. And this guy felt the need, like, I guess he had a little girl with him, some girl that he's probably working out with. Like, I didn't care. And one thing, guys, once you start this passport life, you don't look at the women here the same. You just don't. If anything, you kind of have your blockers on, where you just kind of focus on your grind, focus what you need to do, and get ready for your next trip. So this guy thought that, probably I was looking at his woman when I was literally not. And anyway, man, it's like, I'm a big guy. He's a big guy. So I guess he's trying to size himself up against me. And I kind of sensed some tension. I'm like, well, it's like, well, I'm feeling tension. Like, you guys ever feel that feeling like you feel something's wrong? And, it's just like, okay, I'm walking, I decided to ignore the whole situation. And I'm leaving the gym. I guess we're both leaving at the same time. I was right behind him. He kind of like eased me down. And just in case you guys don't know what easing, that's when someone's just looking you up and down. And I kind of looked at him and smiled, knowing that my old self would easily escalate. Because I was a hothead when I was younger. I mean, not to the point where I had to use violence, but I was always ready. And the fact that he did all that, I felt bothered. I'm not gonna lie, I felt extremely bothered. And as I was sitting in the car, again, granted, it's 7:30 a.m. because I was at the gym at 5:30. I had to check myself. I had to literally check my ego and like realize, like, bro, your life is way bigger than this. Your son is at home sleeping. You need to go back home, wake him up, and take him to coding camp. My kid is learning how to become a programmer. This dude, I don't know what the hell he does for a living. I don't know if he's a father or not, or a husband, or whatever he is. I'm not willing to risk my life because I felt that this dude kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it's kind of interesting, when I came back home, dropped my kid at the coding camp, I came across Busta Rhymes video. And that video was so profound that it made me realize that, am I willing to waste 60 seconds of my life to prove another dude that, hey, don't look at me a certain way, don't size me up, just to make a point where basically my life probably better than his. And I had to like literally check myself and like realize like, yo, I'm 44 years old. You know, you're not that 20 something years old. You feel like you could just do whatever you want. You got a family to take care of. You got a son to take care of. You working two contracts. I'm working on two contracts right now. I'm traveling the world. I'm going to Mexico in a few weeks. I'm going back to DR in September, and I'm going to Thailand in November. Am I willing to risk all this just because the dude felt insecure that he thought that I was looking at his girl when I was actually not? And it was so easy to have that nigga moment. You guys heard the term nigga moment from Boondocks. This is basically you lose everything. A rational person becomes irrational within seconds. And hence why a lot of our fellow black men are in prison or 6 feet under. They allow that 60 second to escalate to something more than when they could simply walked away.
Yeah, man. I like the Dave Chappelle skit when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, I've had those moments, in life, particularly when you're a middle-aged man, because now, guess what? Now you've accumulated some things. You got a family. You got, you got things to lose. You might have a career. Do you really want to toss it all just to show, just to show some dude that probably has no life,
mm-hmm.
that you ain't no punk,
Yeah, and if he's that insecure about his woman, he's got some problems. If you can't go to the gym and work out, and I don't know what the woman was wearing, but I see guys like this all the time. Their woman will be dressed in something that's maybe showing too much or too tight or whatever, and they're trying to walk behind them and looking around. And it's like, relax. Nobody wants your chick. And here you are, black man travel, going all over the world. I'm sure that woman didn't mean anything to you. But
I wouldn't mind showing both of their asses, all my photos. You guys seen some of my photos. I wouldn't mind like, hey, wait, let me pull out my phone and show you what I'm dealing with.
Yes.
And it's just like,
Yes,
my thing is just like how fragile the black man ego feels. Like the need that he always need to prove himself, or like he's quick to anger and ready to fight. And I know for a fact a lot of dudes can't fight, man. I box. When you start boxing, you start learning the fundamentals of boxing. You realize that most people don't know how to throw a punch, and we're so quick to like escalate things where you want to fight because you felt disrespected. So you start threatening people. You start talking and nonsense, willing to throw everything you worked hard for away just to prove everybody you're a badass.
Yeah. Well, women send men to an early grave or to the penitentiary. I'm sure it happens every day in this country.
And
a guy trying,
certain situation in New York where the black guy attacked the old man in the bodega.
Yeah,
man, I was just about to say that. I was just about to mention that. That was a real nigga moment right there.
Yep. We all saw it too. Yep.
So I guess for us, I mean, what caused all this? I mean, and the thing too, what I noticed too, like the black man is going through so much shit that he doesn't even take the time to acknowledge another black man, even when he's walking. It's like you see me as a threat, and the thing is, we may be in two totally different levels, but yet you still sees me as a threat. But then again, you would never apply that same energy to someone outside of your race. But you're quick to show that towards the same brother that's within your race. Why is that?
You know what? I hope you don't mind me taking this one.
No, go for it.
This is what I think, especially when it came to what happened in that bodega in New York. what is happening with a lot of our black brothers is that no one is showing them the way. And for us that are fortunate to have been shown the way or shown something different where we strive for goals and we strive to be better, we collect things as you said, we accumulate our successes and all of that. We have things that keep us grounded. You have a lot of brothers out there that don't have nothing to keep them grounded, just the bravado. All they've been taught is the bravado. All they have been taught is, um, look, this nigga look you dead in the face. You gotta go deck him right now. Oh, he gotta die right now. He got better shoes than you. He gotta die right now. That's all they've been taught, man.
Mhm.
It's like for us, when we reach a certain point, we're still men.
Yeah.
We're going to defend ourselves. Like if it comes down to it, if somebody is look, I can only speak for myself. You threaten, like you physically threaten my life, I'm taking your eyes out. That's what's going to happen. But if I don't feel, if it's just all talk, go ahead, man. Waste your breath. I'll keep it moving. You can have it. You can have the grandiose performance. They can hand you an Oscar afterwards. I'll walk right out and go back to my kids and go back to my job and go back to the money I saved up and go back to these trips.
Yeah. Pablo, your take?
Yeah, man, I think it's a lot of misplaced masculinity. So
Mm.
a lot of black men, their masculinity is caught up in what? In their dick or in their ability to do violence to other men. It's not in, you know, their business acumen. It's not in their accomplishments educationally. It's not in their ability to lead a family because maybe they don't have one. Um, or they just, have kids with the woman that won't cooperate with them.
Right.
So a lot that's only thing that's left is your dick and your fist. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Uh, Pablo, you dropping a lot of gems here. I mean, you are a true veteran in the game. Melvin, what about you? What's your take on it?
Yeah, well, I think the guy probably has, some insecurities. He looked at you, sized you up, and probably thought his girl would like you, number one. And then there's the scarcity of physically fit, attractive women. And I'm going to hope that she was in the gym at 5:30 in the morning. That she's
Nah,
in.
she was basic. She was basic, man. She was basic.
Yeah, so maybe he felt a little insecure, a little intimidated by your presence, and he shouldn't have because I'm sure no matter how highly he thinks of his girl, she was nothing more but another average chick to you. But to him, it's the scarcity of a man who doesn't travel. He's trying to hold on that thing and make sure that somehow or another you and her don't make eye contact, or you and her don't, something doesn't happen to what he has, and that's the only thing I can think of. It doesn't make any sense. But I see guys insecure with women, and I laugh because I'm like, she's a woman. There's a, like 3 billion or however many billion in the world, but people who don't travel, they a lot of people don't view it that way. They got to hold on to that one.
You mentioned something, a keyword, scarcity.
Yeah.
Why do black men have a very scarcity mindset?
Well, I mean, there's the community. The women really want two types. They want either the elite guy who's entertainer, or someone who's at least making six figures, or better yet, an entertainer or athlete, or on the other end, a guy who's a hoodlum, who's making fast money in the streets. So a lot of guys out here, who the average guys are out here busting their butt, making 45, 50,000 a year. They're not considered much. So they get a girl, and they're like, "Oh, I got a girl," And I can tell you, I can write down up the street here, and the strip club parking lot will be full. Well, you got probably 20 girls in there and 200 men. It's like it's a scarcity. You're wasting your time in there with men who are just there to get your money, because I guess that's the best thing they can do. They're saving their money and taking a trip. You know.
Yeah, because one thing I've learned, I know Pablo, Traveler, now Roland, as we travel the world, I think that whole scarcity mindset goes away. Like for me, I have a very abundance mindset. Like I think that I have access to a lot of opportunities. And when I mean opportunities, could be from businesses, job opportunities, or even women. I think by me exploring the world and realize how massive this world is, I don't need to have a scarcity mindset, but a lot of brothers do because they don't move. We have a lot of black men that never left their town, never left the city. Well, you know what? Let me take a step back. A lot of black men never left the block, never left the town, never left
Yep.
their city, never left their state, better yet, the country. So their mindset is so totally warped to what they know best. So they have the scarcity mindset where they feel like they need to control what they could control. Because you ever seen a guy that's outside his element? You could actually see it, like how uncomfortable he looks. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that when you see someone outside of their element and they realize
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not in the street, I'm not on the block anymore. You're now in a boardroom. They can't even talk.
Or go to a fancy wedding in a upscale hotel ballroom, and somebody's cousin is there from the hood, and his suit is 2 times bigger than don't fit, and he walking around. Um, you can tell he's a little bit out of place, or doesn't know. Sometimes when you're at a wedding, you have those little cards, and they let you choose uh which meal you want, whether you want the vegetarian meal or the salmon or the chicken.
Yeah,
He didn't know what to do with the cards, you know. So little stuff like that, um, because they haven't been exposed to certain things, and so they don't realize. And that's not a bad thing per
no, it's
se.
not.
They
It's
just
not,
don't
guys.
know.
And
Yeah,
one thing, guys, I want to be clear: we're not elitists, just in case, because I know people are quick to say that, or you guys have elitist mindset, and it's really not the case. We just have a very abundance mindset. We're not going to limit our surroundings to bettering ourselves. And I felt that, as black men, we allow little things to ruin our lifetime achievements because you felt disrespected when really you weren't disrespected. Nowadays it's so easy to disrespect somebody. It's just like you got people talking craziness online. Then they go overseas and fight the person. I personally seen that, guys. I've seen guys literally beef on these WhatsApp groups. Then they go to the damn country where they all go normally meet up and actually fight because they felt disrespected online. And I'm like, are you willing to throw all that away just to prove a what? And
I
the thing
ran
that
in.
fight that I saw is it was in Sasua. These dudes were rolling the damn sand. No punches were thrown. Just dudes just freaking just rolling on the sand. I'm like, really?
they could have stayed in the U.S. and done
Yeah,
that.
it's
They
like,
definitely could have done
really,
that.
like at least I want to see some hook, jab, right, cross, uppercut, something. No, they was rolling the sand, and guess what? They were arguing over a woman.
Man, I got my own experience with that, bro. Oh, it was, and the thing is that this was a grown man too. This was like a dude that was older than me, and I'm going to the ATM. We're right next to Bailey's. If you know where Bailey's is, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Heading up to the ATM. For whatever reason, I was first in line, and the security guard was like, "Hey, there's no more cash. There's no more cash, or whatever." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." I have to go to another one. I go to walk away. These other guys are coming up behind me, and I tell them there's no more cash, but they walk past me. So I'm like, "Okay, all right." And then the guy was like, "Oh, hey, you, come back." So he calls me back. security guard calls me back and say, "Hey, my bad. He was like, oh, my mistake. You can use this one." So he calls me over and says, "Go ahead and go in." This guy starts going off. "Oh, how you gonna let him go?" And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Bro, it's cool. It's cool. No need to yell. Just go ahead and I don't. You could go ahead and go to the ATM. No need to yell." "Oh, I wasn't talking to you." I'm like, "Bro, really?" Really? I'm letting you go past. And he starts going through this whole, "Dude, I hate when niggas try to put their mouths, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Dude, you on vacation." Really?
Yeah, that's a common thing I'm starting to see. A lot of guys bringing that hostility overseas. Hey, Roland, how you doing? What's your take on it?
Good evening, panel. What's up, Canal? How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Thank
Good,
you
Good,
brother.
for
brother.
being on board.
Yeah,
Well,
doing great.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room that we haven't even touched on.
Okay.
Who's raising these young men? We got modern women that are teaching their daughters how to be independent women, going to college, and they're babying their sons. So when you learn from a woman, you learn how to respond in an emotional manner versus being in an analytical learning from a man. Like you were saying, Kanal, you grew up boxing and wrestling. Most of us growing up from the other generations, Generation X, Generation Z, we learned how to use our hands, defend ourselves, But also, when you learn that, you learn discipline, you learn control. Those are part of the key figures, especially in martial arts, is control. Boxing is control. Now that you know how to fight, it's not go out and get in one, but defend
Oh,
yourself.
look, I've been punched in the face, got a black eye, busted my nose, and trust
Brother,
me, it hurts. And I
brother,
take
we in the same boat when it comes to that. You 6'1", I'm 6'2". I
yeah.
pray that somebody puts hands on me just so I can let some of this shit out. Okay.
Oh, you know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. I was my hands were like throbbing. It was just like, okay, if this dude come close to me, I'm gonna deck him because I'm already in fighting position. And
Like
that's
I
the thing I
said,
always
I gotta
stay
have
in
them
fighting
touch me
position.
first. I can't touch them first. They gotta touch me first.
Same
But
here.
they only get one.
But I mean, yeah, I mean that's under the water for me because I actually like whatever. I realize how blessed I am as a black man to be in this position. I mean, all of us are. And I was like, you know what, this dude's probably, whatever he's doing in his life, that's on him. But I'm not gonna ruin my life, my 60 seconds, and regret it, knowing that I got two sons. My oldest son, he's 6'4" defensive tackle. Knowing his, if he was there, he'd probably have decked him just because. And I'm trying
Right.
to teach him
But
to
as
be.
men, we're supposed to be teaching our sons how to be in control.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm teaching him how to be self-controlled
Women
because
are
he
not
has,
doing
he has a
that.
football
And
mindset. He's a
have
defensive.
no idea how to teach a man how to be in control
Correct.
because they function in the emotional.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
That's
very
the example
important.
they leave. That's the example they lead to their children, especially the young men, is operating out of emotion. And that's what those boys are growing up to see, and not the analytical side of the house when it comes to having a man in the house and how he handles things in a different manner.
I agree. Pablo.
Yeah, and that's very important, being in control, particularly for black men in the United States, because we all know um not being in control um can wind you up in a prison or in a casket.
Yeah.
Um look at a lot of these police shootings. What's usually happening? The police officers asking them to do something. They either don't want to do it, don't understand what to do, or they're doing nothing. So I'm not excusing the doing nothing part, but um, I guess what I am trying to say is um, teaching your sons to not get overly emotional in stressful situations can save their lives.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's something I'm teaching my older son. It's like, all that aggression, leave it on the field. Leave it on the field. But when you're out, man, just walk away. It's not worth it, man. You got NFL potential. Don't lose that sight of that vision you have. And black men, we just need to do a better job of just understanding the situation, walk away. There's no need to actually deal with an ignorant person that has nothing to lose because he's kind of like envy or jealous of your situation, or he feels that feel that he can test you. I know, Melvin. I know you have to leave because it's 11 o'clock. Yeah. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm enjoying the panel, and I'm going to listen when I get up here at 5, the rest of the show. But thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it, and I hope I can get with you again. But yeah, the big problem is brother was right. Who's raising these boys? And there's too many examples of bathering going on. And today I shared a video with Pablo of a woman just, who would just being setting a terrible example for her child. And maybe Pablo can talk about that a little. We need men, the fathers, to be involved, and we need the fathers to practice dick discipline, and not to be making babies with with random women. Really think about what you're doing and get. If you want to have a child, get with a quality woman who will be a good mother and set a good example for the child. So I'll just leave that there, and thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dip out too in
Thanks
a
for
minute.
coming through.
Not a
But
problem. Again, guys, I mean, I didn't want this to be too long, but I just wanted to have this conversation because it did bother me. And I realized, after watching Busta Rhymes 60 Seconds, made me realize, like, listen, let them have that 60 seconds because guess what? We still travel. We still making money. We still making things happen. And
got that right.
is it risk for me going to jail while my son's at home waiting for me to take him to camp? No. And if anything, if I would have done something stupid, I failed my son. And it's just like, I'm glad I had to check myself in the car and like realize like, bro, you don't need to respond to these guys. Walk away. You got nothing to lose. I mean, sorry, you got more to lose than this person does. So just wanted to say, just like guys, we need to check our ego more often. Is it worth it to respond to this email a certain way or a text message or someone talking shit on social media? No, it's not worth it. Because if we allow it to escalate, it's just going to get worse. Pablo?
Yeah. I remember the last time I went to a nightclub, or like a night out on the town here in Atlanta. It was a little more than a decade ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost got into it with this dude, with this guy. He wanted to fight. He was literally standing outside waiting for me with the bouncers or whatever, and he eventually left. But I learned from that. I said, you know what? I'm too old for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way too old to be getting in bar fights um, with somebody over stupid stuff. And not long after that, yeah, I threw myself deeply into the travel
Yeah.
and never looked back. Never looked back because I knew, you know, here is a certain in the U.S. is a certain aggressiveness
Mm-hmm.
that people carry, um, and it's something you have to learn to turn off. I definitely turn it off. One of the things I try to do when I'm in the airport and I'm about to go down that jetway to take my seat, I leave the U.S. culture, the U.S. thought processes, all of that as much as I can. I leave that baggage right there at the gate. I leave it right at the gate because I don't leave my awareness or my cautiousness, but I definitely leave all of that aggression and all of that, bravado, false bravado, and and I tend to go away and enjoy myself. And so, yeah, man, good conversation. I'm definitely feeling you. Um, and one of the things that Mervin was talking about, he sent me this screenshot of, and just let you know, like the moral decay that's going on in our country right now. It's like a decay.
Mm-hmm.
He had this video of this overweight black woman stealing meat out of a grocery store. She has shoved it down her pants, and I don't know if she was with her children or had a kid with her, but a security guard saw it and stopped her. And while he was trying to stop her, she was trying to get away and take the meat out of her pants at the same time and coming out of her clothes. And it was embarrassing and it was sad, like all at the same time. And in the comments, because it was a Facebook post, in the comments you could see woman after woman and a few guys here and there, a woman after woman though defending her. Oh, she must have been doing that for her kids. You know, any excuse you can name, they were just coming up with it. And I thought to myself, okay, some men are gonna either get with these women or they already have or they got children with them and they're raising children out here today. And from that, I saw that. I was like, oh my God, we are in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the parents take a lot of blame. The lack of fathers in the home, all that takes a toll, and and why black men and black women behave they do. Not all, but some, a small percentage of them. But that small percentage of them actually get represented most in our media. I mean, I live right near Alpharetta. There's a huge billboard sign and it features the most wanted. And guess who's on the cover?
Oh, I've seen them.
And
I've
I'm
seen.
like, dude, I'm in Alpharetta now.
Yeah, I'm in Gwinnett, and I
Like,
work out there. Hmm.
I see that sign, see the black man on it, and I'm like, man, that's what people view. That's the perception that we give off. We're dangerous, hothead, quick to temper, and we're quick to shoot, kill, whatever, cause harm. And it's just like we don't need to behave in that type of manner, but understand there's different levels to this. There's different types of black folks. Like I always stand by this. I know some people may not like it, but I feel like there are niggas and there are black folks.
Hmm.
And some people feel, you may feel whatever you like, but that's how I view the black people. The black men that I know are black men. They're leaders. They are contributors to their community. Niggas
Well,
don't know.
real quick, I'm reading a book right now by Eugene Robinson called Disintegration, and it is about um, Eugene Robinson is a black male writer for the Washington Post,
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote this book about there are like he said it's like 3 or 4 different Black Americas.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's 3 or 4 different Black Americas, and they are going to continue to be more stratified and more different from each other. He said, once upon a time, there was one Black America. He said, but not anymore. And so he outlines that in his book. I recommend the reading to anyone. You can go to Amazon and get it. It's called Disintegration by Eugene Robinson.
Yeah, definitely. I'll check that out.
Well, I gotta go, guys. Y'all have a good chat. I'm gonna be listening though.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
And, by the
brother.
way, and please invite me to one of your shows, man. I like to jump on and chime into a lot of.
Oh, no doubt. I gotta come up with a good topic for you.
All right, cool,
Oh,
man.
you know what? Shoot, all those trips you've been taking, and I love your activities. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to get
Yeah.
into the activities.
Well, I mean, I'm down for whatever, man. I'm even down for a general conversation. Just hit me up, bro.
All right, man.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
All right.
Rolling. the traveler. What are your
Yes,
thoughts
sir.
on this?
I mean, they've all had some really good points about what's going on. And to me, like I said, the biggest thing is taking back the black man's perception as we travel. Because the media has taken our likeness and taken some of the things that you would project out of Hollywood and push that narrative to the rest of the world. So as we travel, we have to retake over the narrative of expectation that these other countries see us coming from in a better light, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Okay, because that's the biggest thing is like each time we step into another country, their perception of us is one thing, and then when they actually meet us, you could probably see shocked faces half the time when you're dealing with them. They're like, wow, you're nothing like what we thought, if they've never dealt with a black man before, because that's all they have to look at
yeah.
is the negative side of our lives.
It's just I mean, the egoness of nothing. Like I'm from the streets, I'm the hood nigga, street nigga. It's like all this negative bullshit has no meaning, no significance behind it. But yet
Whatsoever.
they feel the need to actually use it as a way to like brand themselves like they're somebody when you're really not.
Right.
And now I'm seeing this behavior trickling down to overseas. Guys are literally taking that same mindset to their travels, and that's you know, as one of the callers mentioned, is like dudes trying to start a fight for no apparent reason. And I kind of experienced something similar like that in Cartagena this past April when I went to a place called I went to a bar, it's a hip hop bar in Cartagena, the Clock Tower. I went to go grab a drink. This dude's literally hogging up the wall, like not the wall, the bar. And I said, "Excuse me," and he heard me, man. He didn't want to move. Like he acted like he didn't hear me, but I said, "Excuse me." I like, can I just pass the order a drink? Because I was like the only available spot. Dude pretend like he didn't hear me. So again, I was drinking, so I got broad ass shoulders. You know, I just I just literally pushed, not pushed him, like just went,
Bumped into him.
huh?
Bumped him a little bit.
Yeah, and then once he realized, okay, yeah, this dude got a stiff shoulder. It's
Hmm.
like, man, dude, I'm trying to be nice to you. I'm trying to be respectful, but yet you bringing this nigga shit with you, which I literally try to run away from during to my travels.
Right.
So, and that's why, like, I always tell people all the time, it's like when I travel, when I see a bunch of niggas going left, I go right.
I agree.
'Cause like, I don't travel to be around a bunch of dudes for one, and two, all that ignorance, loud, you're a thug, you're a street dude, and all this stuff, man. Look, I'm not really trying to hear all that, man. And it's just like I'm escaping the U.S., the Matrix, for a reason, not to see y'all. Same goes for the women too. That loud raunchiness, ratchetness, dude. I don't want to see none of that. I
But
don't see
we
for it.
both know growing up, we all know as men, the loudest one in the room is usually the one that's the weakest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We all come from different circumstances. I mean, you're Haitian. You come from a different circumstance. I've come from different circumstance. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, if you know anything about Maryland.
Mhm.
Yeah, I lived there for five
Okay.
years.
So that's where I was born at. So just because we come from different circumstances doesn't mean we all have to end up in the same place. You know what I mean? The point is to grow and to progress out of the situation to become a better person,
Yeah.
and to leave all that negativity behind you. It's not about, street cred when you're traveling. There's nothing to do with that. Leave that at home. There is no street cred when you're traveling in a whole nother country. What street are you repping?
You know what's crazy about that? About the whole street cred thing and everybody that's repping a block or they down to die for a block and all of this, And again, by no means am I a elitist, but it's like Why die for a block that as soon as the city hall says, "Hey, we're gonna just go ahead and knock this place down," you gotta go. It's no longer your block then. It's gone.
Hmm.
You know, it just takes one official in a little small office to be like, yeah, all the housing projects gone.
Right.
Are you gonna go ahead and be like, nah, this is my block? Uh, well, yeah, that's not gonna stop the bulldozers from knocking down your block. Sorry,
Right.
but don't put up a big fight then. But quick to jump on their fellow brother. Sad, man.
Yeah, it's just a lot of senseless murders, a lot of senseless activities for men to go spend 20, 30, 50 years of their lives in prison just because their ego got disrespected. And again, 60 seconds ruined their entire lives. 60 seconds ruined their business that they were actually building. 60 seconds ruined their relationship with their kids. And it's just like not, being overly emotional, not thinking before acting, and just like, like you said, they have the street mentality, like, dude, that street has no loyalty to you.
Mm-mm.
And that block has been identified, my friend. I mean, let's look at all the major cities, even here in Atlanta, Miami. Look, I was raised near Wynwood. Look at Wynwood now,
Man, I was in
Right.
one with the other day.
and it's like certain parts of Chicago. I mean, I lived in Humboldt Park.
Man, you ever been to Long Beach recently? Long Beach ain't nothing like it used to be.
Wow.
Talking about gentrified. Oh, they cleaned that whole place up.
Yeah. So it's like this block you repping and all that. You're dead. They just wash your blood stain, and investors will come in now. Chinese are coming in, buying your block. What are you gonna do to them? Nothing. Were you quick to shoot, kill, stab a guy that's just walking through your
And,
block?
and I really think we think about the wrong things majority of the time. There are other things that you need to be focused on. It's just like your time and you repping this and repping that. You can be replaced in a minute at your job.
Yeah.
You fall out of favor in your job, man. They got somebody in your job seat right after that. What you gonna do then? It's all about learning how to be more independent. As financial and everything when it comes to that. So there's a lot of things that need to be taught, and it just seems like our generations are not able to communicate with the younger ones because of the interference of the modern woman. To tell you the truth, they don't have people to look up to. They're not taking them to grandpas. There's no big mama no more, big auntie, sitting on the block watching all the kids,
Shoot,
keeping them in order, because you
big.
can't speak to somebody else's kid right now. Well, I know you didn't say that to my child. If
Oh
you do
man,
something wrong, I'm gonna say something.
dude, Big Mama, Big Mama and
Eh,
Auntie are trying to compete with their daughters now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of foolishness out there, but
Hmm.
I think still a black man needs to be more accountable for his own behavior and understand, like, before you decide to make this dumb action, just put some thought into it. Is it worth it? And a lot of us don't have that. We were not taught to do that because we didn't have a father in our lives. We didn't have that uncle that sat down and talked to us. Everybody wanted to be that big tough guy, the pimp, the player, and it's just like you realize you can lose all that just not really putting any thought before taking action. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm just disappointed right now. It's just like the black man is like we could walk and see each other and not acknowledge each other, but then once we're overseas, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Yeah,
It's like, what the hell? I don't get that.
it's because they leave it behind, man. That's the thing. Just like how, I forget if it was Ronan or who was on previously, where when they get on the plane, they get they leave
Papa.
it all behind. They leave behind the aggression. They leave behind the preemptive strike button. You know what I'm saying? Like that we all have, because we're conditioned to be looking over our shoulder. As soon as you see another one like us, okay, is he cool? Is he friendly? Is he one of those guys? It's like we already looking for a possible threat, as opposed to when you go overseas. And this is my own experience. You run into a lot of guys that have left that behind. They're
Mm.
more open. They're more social. They're more inept to talk. And dude, you've seen it sometimes. It's like how me and you met, Like we sat down and chop it up. Like we didn't know each other. That just happened organically, but it was the perfect location for that, because we decided, you know, to go ahead and leave all of that crazy shit behind.
But why we can't have that here in our own country?
Exactly, and that's the question. That's the question. Why can't we?
It's like when I would see a brother walking towards me, I always say, "What's up? Hey, how you doing?" And I keep moving. So, but when I'm overseas, like you said, we're more eager to embrace each other, sit down, and have a drink with a stranger, and have deep thought conversations, and walk away.
Build
Here in the
like
states, we look at each other as enemies. We're competing when we really not. John Stephen, what's your take on it?
Yeah, man, take
Hey,
um,
hey, we can't hear you. I think you have it on speaker.
alright, you
I can't. We can't hear you. It's still the same.
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you sound muffled. Hey, how you doing, brother? You're on live, man. We can see you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in Colombia.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in Colombia.
I saw your comment. So, what you have to say about this, man?
I think we as black people, I think we're everywhere. Like the slave trade in Cartagena was here, right?
No, I don't get what you're saying.
I think I think I'm part Colombian, bro.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been out here 8 months, man. Like, and the way how they treat my area is like I belong here.
but what that has
Like
to do,
I don't belong in America. I belong here.
I understand, but what that has to do with the black man ego?
What?
I said we're discussing a topic on the fragile black man ego. Do you have something to chime in on that? I know you say you're from Colombia, so you have anything you want to say about that, or
Nah.
okay? Big HD traveler Roland. Any last thoughts? Because I know it's getting late.
I mean, like you said, it's more about us coming together, especially the travel community. I mean, with your channel, No Excuses channel, and the other channels out there that are putting a positive light on traveling and actually being productive while traveling, and not just the mongering part of traveling. Understanding the history of how even us as black people transitioned over to America. We didn't come straight from Africa. They stopped in all these different lands that we've been going to
Yeah,
and depositing us. Haitians were the ones that fought for their freedom and won it long ago.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they still had to pay the French back. I didn't get to that, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's just about being more prideful in the way we carry ourselves overseas, and not letting the ego here in America transition overseas so much. And then also coming back, trying us as the mentors, as the older crew, trying to groom, if we can use that word, groom the younger travelers into basically having a little more pride about, everybody can't get a passport. Let's get that out there. The fact that you have one gives you an upper hand on being able to get exposed to all the things that are available to us as men, black men especially, in other countries. And that should be for first. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally understand that. It's just I think we just need to do better. And if it means talking to a brother like, hey, listen, there's no need for you to like feel the way you do. Granted, if you do feel that way, try to find a solution to the problem. You walking around with your emotions on your sleeves, thinking that the world owe you something, having that chip on your shoulder is not going to get you anything in life. If anything, that's going to bring trouble to you because you just bring a lot of attention to yourself. And not every guy is going to sit down and just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to walk away from this. You may meet the guy who's just like you, or even worse. And I think, as black men, as we continue to get better, you know, it's important that we do a self check. Is my ego getting away from me getting that promotion? Is that ego is getting away and me creating a relationship with people? That's something we need to do. We need to do a self assessment and realize, like, okay, what areas can I improve on so I can become that better man for my wife, my child, you know, my job to increase my income, where I can travel the world more freely. So it's just
Bruh, everybody in America needs to go through therapy,
yeah,
especially black men. We have PTSD from birth.
I agree.
Okay. So there's unresolved issues that we have as far as our anger that stems back to our childhood. And until you deal with that, you still gonna have that monkey on your back.
I totally
But
agree.
that's my last words. I'm gonna step down and listen to your close, and thank you for inviting me up.
Oh,
Big Hada, you have a good day, brother, as well.
same to you,
Thanks,
brother,
Rogan.
man.
Thank you so much, man.
Take care, man. Big H the Traveler. What do you think? They're closing.
Man, I think he's definitely right about therapy. Therapy is definitely a necessity. Therapy should not be something that makes us less than men. It's something to make us better as men. Me myself, I was in therapy. I do plan on picking that back up again. Because it's helpful. It's helpful to get out what you feel and to help you get all the things out so that it doesn't manifest in a different kind of way. You know. Um, so when it comes to our egos and how we how we decide and make decisions, we got to look at things objectively. We got to take our emotions out and look at things logically. One plus one equals what? Two plus two equals what? If
Mhm.
I do this, what's going to happen? If I don't do this, what's going to happen? What are the results uh of my decisions? And what does that in turn mean for the people that are around me or for the things that I have? You know what I mean? Um you could definitely attest to this, and I'll make this my last point. Um we grew up Haitian, bro.
Yeah,
Our fathers, you know, um, my father was one of those guys that what I definitely learned from him was that he was definitely someone that observed the room. He never spoke unless it meant something,
yeah,
and when he did speak, it carried weight. So watching my father do that, uh, um, it's something that was passed down to me. I'm an observer. I always observe. I'm always watching. to make sure that like I'm constantly assessing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's something that I can't something that I can't shake. Sometimes it can be to my detriment sometimes, but it's one of those things that it's just innately built in. And I think that a lot of men do need that because I think it does serve a purpose. It helps us measure measure what could possibly happen and to move accordingly, as opposed to using our emotions and throwing everything out the window. And just like in the Boondocks, when the guy was like, "What am I doing? I'm white. I don't got to do this."
Hey,
And
you know
then
what? Hey, hold that thought. I actually have that clip. Let me share. Let me share that clip, man. You know what? When I saw it, I said, "Yo, that's gonna be me now on. Fuck that."
yeah,
Yeah. Where is it? Okay. Um,
oh, here you go, here you go.
here you go. Let me make it big.
How a nigga moment affects a white man.
Watch where you walking, bitch. What did you? Wait a minute. I'm white. Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
A big misconception about the nigga moment is that it can be avoided by simply moving away from niggas.
Wait, let's watch this one right here.
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment.
I don't think you see the video, man.
As a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro man.
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dog. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
But all in the same. If they had their own category,
Dude, that last one, I didn't get to see. I didn't. You didn't show the
Oh,
video,
I didn't
but
show. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me show.
no, you good, you good.
Okay.
But I watched Boondocks so many times, man. I knew exactly what happened. I can visualize
Man,
exactly
look,
what happened.
that's today's majority of black man when you out in the streets there, man. Simple. You stepped on my shoes, you bump into me, it's gonna cost them their entire life.
Well, dude, there's this hey, I'm bringing this up because I just watched this. There's a show called The Boys on Prime Video.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah, dude, there was this line. This guy who was the head honcho of the big company, and one of the protagonists walks in and he tries to make a deal, and he's like, "You're the head of the company. You should be able to wild out and do whatever you want." And the leader of the company was a black man. The guy that's talking to him was a white man. He was like, "Wilding out is a luxury that white people have. I don't. So if I'm going to move, when I move, I do it with subtlety. But you will. But he was like, you will feel my move though.
One
So
one thing is I've learned I'm kind of like your dad and like yourself. I'm I, I'm very a observant person. I mean, my size alone would draw attention, like because shit. Me and you pretty much the same size,
yeah,
and so we know when we walk in the room, we're like the big dudes.
exactly.
So I don't need to bark. I don't need to say anything majority of the time. And the thing is, like now, we both work for the same company as well. Being consultants, man, they pay you to speak.
Ex- right.
So for me, I'm always quiet. I'm always taking notes. But when it's time for me to speak, guess what? Everyone listens because they pay me to speak.
But also, if you know that also comes with that. What also comes with that, because you're a black man,
No,
they're especially listening to how you speak.
the way I
Because
speak now, or like in person, or even over the podcast, is completely different in how I speak on conference calls. or better yet, when I have to do a presentation, complete opposite. So I know how to work the room. I know how to change my persona based on the environment that I'm in. Now,
Right.
granted, dude, I'm from Miami. I'm from Adapata. I went to Miami Jackson Senior High, Adapata Middle, Kelsey L. Falk, Constant Elementary. Dude, I'm
Yes,
from
sir.
Miami. And the thing is, at the same time, it's like I do have an MBA degree. Now I've learned to adapt, but now I could still get back to my old ways if I wanted to. But what for?
Well, that's the thing with being a black man. We become bilingual.
Yes,
We become bilingual by out of necessity. Um, and we realize in quickly, I wouldn't say that this is the same for everyone, and this is the reason why I think you know, scarcity in some ways is good, because scarcity for not all of us but a few of us causes us to create, causes us to want better and to
I,
strive for better, because we already know what bottom feels like. You know what I mean? So it's like, once we get in those spaces and we get in those places where, once we get in those places and those opportunities that we're blessed to have, we know how to act accordingly. Because just in a snap moment, if we decide to be a nigga in that moment, all of it could be gone.
yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm fully aware of my environment where I need to be mindful, especially as a black man in corporate America. I have to be super aware in how I conduct myself and even how I speak. I mean, sometimes I may get relaxed and my little slang kind of kicks in a little bit here and there, but I know that the audience who I'm speaking to. So, but at the same time, I've learned to always check my ego because I'm not gonna lie. My first half of my career, I didn't check my ego. I was one of those black guys in corporate that had a chip on his shoulders. That always felt like, you know what, I'm not gonna what you called not assimilate, but conform. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna be honest. They're gonna have to see me for my hard work, and I realized that corporate is not really about hard work. It's about who you
No,
know.
it is not.
It's about who you know. I mean, honestly, and we talked about this when we met in DR. But right now, I should be a VP at someone's top 500 company,
Yes, sir.
but I allowed my ego to get in the way. I allowed my way not, going against the grain for no apparent reason because I felt like I wanted to be different.
Right.
And I learned that in corporate America, it's a game. Life is a game. When you out there in these streets, it's a game. Either you play to lose or you play to win.
And you got to be multifaceted in this.
When I
You
get
got
pulled over by cops, I get pulled over a lot. When I get pulled over, man, dude, my I switch up so fast. And the thing is, guess what? They always give me a warning, man. It's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Because again, I realized that life is a game to play, and you got to know the rules. If you're trying to go against the rules and buck at the system, it's gonna buck back harder.
right.
And the life I want to live, the life I want my kids to live, you know what? I'm playing this game to win. And if it means I got to have 5, 7, 10 different personas based on whatever environment that I have, so be it.
So be it. And the thing about it is that, um, what happens a lot in the black community is like, it's, oh, be you, be real, be all the way real, no matter where you are, no matter where you at. That person saying this person saying that, you make sure you let them know, blah blah, right? And what also comes with that is that this group did this to you, and this group did that to you, and this is how you they owe us, and this person owe us, and rightfully so. But the thing that, again, that I learned is that, especially what my parents showed me, was that you got to adapt.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been dealt a bad hand. Yeah, you've been dealt that this or that. Man, if I was to tell you my story, but then again, kid, all you already know.
Oh,
You already know.
hey,
You've been through the whole Bahamian, the Bahamas, and all of that. You
I
already
came,
know what that is.
I came in this country in a boat. In 1978, I came into this country legally on a
Yeah,
raft boat with other Haitians.
Yeah.
Trust me, I was dealt a bad hand during pregnancy. and
Look, man.
it's like, lucky for me, I was always street smart, but also I was smart in the book. So I knew when the street kids was about to do some dumb shit, I took my ass home. Like,
Exactly. Turn the other way. Keep it moving.
yeah.
It didn't make you. It didn't make you a punk. It just made you smart. You
And
just knew what to avoid and what to put your hands up for. So you know that's how. That's unfortunately not everybody thinks that way.
yeah. And, and that's why I think it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded brothers. Like really surround yourself. No man is an island by himself. And that's something a good part of my career that hurt my I should be a whole lot further in my career. But the fact that I had that one man on the island, I could do it on my own, fuck everybody else. I had that chip on my shoulder. That ended up backfiring.
Hmm.
And now I realize how to play it. Man, dude, I double, triple my salary. I've
Well,
learned like, okay, you can still be your authentic self, but know when to use it.
life is a university, man.
And by doing that, man, they opened so many doors for me, man. And it's just like, you know, I had to check my ego. That's what it all boils down to, bro. It was just I had to check my ego and realize, like, you know what, you don't know everything. It's important to ask for help, and also too, leave that whole chip on your shoulder. Leave it alone. Like
Right.
whatever baggage you had in the past, let it go.
I mean, you're definitely right. There's some times that chip needs to come out though.
Yeah, I, I totally
It's
agree. But again, it really falls on the environment that you're in.
and
Like
the
for me,
situation.
like
Yeah.
okay, when I go to the airport, right, I catch the Doraville train station, which is from Doraville to the airport station.
Hmm.
First half of the station, I'm pretty much chill. I'm like relaxed, chill. But once it passed Atlanta, dude, I start like, okay, I need to become more alert.
Right.
Now I'm watching every person that comes in and goes out until I get to the airport because based on the area that this train is passing by, I got to be alert. I got to
Yeah.
make sure everything is secure. But between the first half of the trip, man, dude, I'm so chill. Most of the time, I just take a quick nap. But once I don't know, my spider senses kicks in after a certain stop. Like, okay, get up, stay alert, and pay attention to everyone that's coming in and everyone's going out. You just never know.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I just think it's just a matter of putting those instincts and knowing how to act accordingly
Yeah,
at certain points in times. So I think that will help us circumvent how we react emotionally and just again assessing, observing, and acting accordingly.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I know it's getting late. We both have to get up in the morning and work. And
Yes, sir.
I just, hey, thanks for the blog. I actually posted the blog on the website, guys. It's called Big H the Traveler is one of the authors of my blog series. He actually posts a lot of his blogs on the website, blackmantravels.com/blogs. He just published a new blog called The Mango Effect. It's an interesting read. Take the time to actually read it. It's on the website. But I definitely want to do an interview. I want you to share your first experience with Sua, Dominican Republic. I think it'd be funny, man, because I shared my experience of Sasua a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did a podcast on DR. Basically, the topic was there's more to DR than just Sasua.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I
Yeah,
did
you know,
see
some
that.
people some people didn't like that because they thought I was trashing Sasua, but they didn't. But I ended up praising Sasua. Like, hey, listen, guys, if this is your first trip to DR or your first trip overseas, like you're new to the game, go to Sasua. I recommend it. Like you
Right.
go. I mean, granted, it may not be for you. It may not be for you after the first trip, but at least you got it out of your system and you experienced it. But I'd love to do like a live with you where you highlight your first experience.
Man, hey, I'm with it, man.
Yeah, man. But hey, did you speak to your brother?
I sent him a text. He did not respond. He's most likely knocked out, man. He works the night shift.
That's all
So
good. Well,
uh,
give me a quick synopsis of his experience, like arriving in Sasua. Just a quick synopsis.
man, well, I'm gonna forgive me if I'm gonna be a little subtle. You know what I mean? Because you already know what it
Yeah.
is. But let's put it this way, man. The next one has been planned, bro.
Oh wow. That
He's
quick.
out of there
That quick.
that quick, bro. That quick. Out of there, man. Knocked it out of the park, bro. It was like it was culture shock.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was shock and awe. It was like, this exists? Are you kidding me?
Now,
What is this that I'm looking at?
granted, my first experience back in 2015, it was a whole lot different then, and my sensory overload. I mean, I'm sorry, I was experiencing overload with my sensors, man. Like everything was just too much for me on that first night.
Right.
Like what? This exists?
Yeah.
Two and a half hours 2.5 hours away from Miami. This whole world exists. I was like, damn.
Yes, sir. And finding ways to get back there as quickly as possible.
All right, all right. Well, hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's a work day, it's a work night, and I really appreciate it. I'm about to close out. I'm about to play that 60 second by Busta Rhymes again, man. Like I said, it was so profound what he
Yeah.
said, and
Yeah.
it's true. And that's the philosophy I'm gonna move forward with, man. Don't give
Yeah.
anyone your power, your energy, your time. That's 60
Exactly.
seconds, 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5 seconds. It's not worth ruining your entire day or your life.
Or your life. Huh, man.
It's just like, you know what, guys? Like, hey, you can have those seconds, man. I'm gonna continue to book this ticket and I'm about to do my thing, brother. Take
Dude, I don't even get mad no more.
You know what, man?
I don't get mad at anybody no more, man. Little things don't bother me the way they used to.
I would love to get there, bro. I would love to get in that position. I think I will now that I'm surrounding myself with guys like you that's giving me, those tips and tricks and how to maneuver. That's the goal for me, man. I'm not giving nobody my energy, my time, man. Now, if you
Yeah.
touch me, all right, cool. We're gonna go at it.
Yep.
But most of the time, they see us, man. They ain't gonna try. Never really had a guy that try to like, unless he's a bigger, taller guy. But even then, it's like,
Dude,
huh?
even the bigger, taller guys, they're they're like they're not even looking for it because they already know. Like,
Yeah,
look, man, I could pummel somebody, but I'm not even on that. I'm like, peace, man. What's going on? How y'all doing? That,
yeah.
but
Like you said, you get to a certain point in your life where it's like, you know what, this, I'm, I'm living my life greater than me.
yeah,
So it's what it is. But thank you again, man, for taking the time, man. I'm about to play that 60 seconds.
no
Buster
problem, bro.
close it out.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man. I'll catch you on the next one.
We'll do, man. Thank you, man.
All right.
And as I said, guys, I want to play this 60 seconds. It's getting late on my end. What Busta Rhymes said, and it really was extremely impactful for me to listen. And guys, give that 60 seconds away to that person that's trying to ruin your peace or cause issues. And you can have the remaining thousands of seconds that Busta Rhymes highlighted in this video. Okay.
Everybody got 84,000 seconds in a day, right? When you let somebody take 60 seconds, would you risk 84,540 seconds of your day for 60 seconds? You killed that. You killed that, Jake Bay. You killed that. Oh. That 160 seconds could destroy the rest of your 84,540 seconds because you're being impulsive. Right. It's a bigger picture. Woo, let that nigga have them 60 seconds. Woo, and hold on to your 83,540 seconds, because that 60 seconds ain't worth fucking up all of that.
Close it out. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Again, this is supposed to be more of a regular conversation. We're gonna have some interesting topics coming in, and like I said, I got some trips lined up. So I'll be doing some videos of my upcoming trips, and more interesting topics, more interesting interviews. If you guys haven't checked out my website, check out blackmantravels.com. We're uploading new pictures, videos, and blogs, keeping you guys engaged. And if you're interested in becoming a member, it's free. Become a member so you can stay in the loop of all of my activities that I have planned, but also things that I plan to do moving forward. With that being said, guys, have a great night, and let that guy or woman keep that 60 seconds while you keep your rest and have peace. Have a good night, fellas.